this to you on this fine Tuesday. Actually, it's not a fine Tuesday. It's throwing it down. It's so wet in the UK. We had sun for a little while, but apparently the Olympics have sun. So how the fuck does that work? I troll you not. I hope you guys checked out the Olympic opening event. It actually made me feel a little bit of national pride for the first time ever. Really, I mean, national pride doesn't really exist in the UK. National pride extends to about the England football team, right? And if you don't like the football, like I don't give a shit about soccer. It doesn't go any further. So I actually thought it was pretty cool. I thought he did a really good job, Danny Boyle. I thought it came out really well. On with the Daily Preach for today. I'm a little bit worried about this picture. This picture bothers me a little bit. I sense some titty sprinkles. I sense a little bit of titty sprinkles going on right here. A little bit of titty sprinkles. But I don't mind if you're sending me naked brofist pictures, although you're a young boy. It bothers me It bothers me to an extent, but you did stop the camera going further down, in which case I would not have featured it here. But if you're going to send me a picture of some titty sprinkles, they're going on there, buddy. Don't think I'm not going to show the people the titty sprinkles. I'm going to show them. On with the news! Let's do some gaming news, and then we're going to jump into a piece of WoW news that literally came out 20 minutes after I did yesterday's Daily Preach, which puts me like a whole day behind this awesome news. So let's jump in with the gaming news, because a lot of you guys are going to be excited about this stuff. First of all, Baldur's Gate. Okay, so maybe a lot of you are too young to know Baldur's Gate and what Baldur's Gate is all about. Baldur's Gate is one of the epitomes of RPG action. It was fucking fabulous when it came out. Baldur's Gate 1 is up there in the pinnacle of what an RPG should be like. Around about the Diablo 2 era. We don't talk about Diablo 3. Diablo 3 fucking sucks. It's all about Baldur's Gate. So they said they're going to remake Baldur's Gate in HD and revamp it, and hopefully it'll be pretty much exactly as it used to be. This is one of those things where we don't want to change. Unlike our heroics in World of Warcraft, we don't really want to change. The original Baldur's Gate was fantastic. It is far too dated now. It is way, way old. They're going to redo it in HD. Now, they've announced today that they're going to allow cross-platform interaction co-op. That's fucking cool, because Baldur's Gate is on a system where that can really work. It's not that action-based that you can't do that and get away with it. So you're going to have people with your Xboxes and the PS3s playing alongside your friends with the PC. I'm obviously a pure PC gamer. I do own a PlayStation 3, as I like to call it, a Blu-ray player. But this is really cool. There's a lot of people who, I've got an Xbox, I can't really afford to keep upgrading a PC and all that kind of stuff. And Baldur's Gate is one of those games that you want to play with your friends, because it's a brilliant story. It has a really engaging story, picking between your characters and stuff like that. So I'm really cool and happy that Baldur's Gate is going to be cross-platform. I think it might be one of the big games that stands out as a cross-platform game. So fingers crossed on that one. The other one is DayZ. Obviously, Genji has done some DayZ on his channel. I'm not into DayZ that much. It's a mod at the end of the day for a game I didn't particularly like in the first place. I didn't like Operation Flashpoint. I played it with Ghost. I really didn't like Armor. And DayZ, the idea of DayZ really intrigues me. It really does. But the game doesn't work exactly how I would like it to be. Some instances I've heard about with DayZ, I haven't played it myself. It doesn't really appeal to me until it's like a standalone game. I think if it was a game done on its own, we could be in some really good place. It's more about people. I'll give you an example. Genji was playing it, and he came across a lighthouse that had a chap in it, and the chap was like, dude, it's okay, I'll protect you, come on up. Genji goes on up, gets killed, loses all his stuff, QQ, but got respawned directly below the same place. And just ran upstairs, killed this guy, not only got all his stuff back, but then got the guy's stuff as well, and was back to where he was an hour ago, if not further ahead. So I'm one of the people who's not playing DayZ, but DayZ has gone up to nearly 900,000 active players. Do you know where this originated from? I'd be interested in the chat. Do you know why DayZ suddenly became popular? Because I know. Someone, I have a guess. I would love to see a guess. I'll skip ahead and then I'll come back to this subject. The other one is Stalker. If you never played Stalker 1 or 2, they were really, really cool games. They were fantastic games. Very similar to sort of a Fallout type of feel. Fallout, obviously, Fallout 3 especially, is one of them games held in really high regard. I'm replaying Fallout 3 now. In my spare time, when I have a couple of hours free, I'm playing through Fallout 3, and I might do a year's behind on it, because it's a really amazing game. Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, the second one, is disappeared off the face of the earth, and we never saw another one. It turns out that they've announced that it's actually Bethesda who've bought the rights to Stalker. That's fucking awesome, because Bethesda do really, really good games, as we know. So we could be seeing a new Stalker coming, and it made by Bethesda. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So I'm just going to come back here. Does anybody know why DayZ suddenly became fucking popular? Nobody knows. Rooster Teeth. I'm sure some of you in the chat, and especially some of you on YouTube, know who Rooster Teeth are. Rooster Teeth is a video gaming company who produce a lot of stuff for YouTube, but as well as most famously known for Red vs. Blue, a Machinima series. Rooster Teeth do a weekly podcast, which is one of the most downloaded podcasts ever. It's number 3 or 4 on iTunes, I think, is the biggest podcast. I listen to it weekly. It's generally hilarious. Rooster Teeth, on a random part of their podcast, the owner of Rooster Teeth, the director, Bernie Burns, who's a really funny guy, fucking fantastic, said he's just started playing a game called DayZ and raved about it for about 5 minutes. Just went, this game is fucking awesome. I'm really enjoying it. It's about zombies and stuff. Look where we are now, 1 million players. That's exactly where it came from. It's fucking amazing. Really, really cool. I'm going to take your questions shortly, guys. I know he's putting some questions in there, but I'll take your questions shortly. But it's amazing how YouTube community and gamers in general all linking together can create such a thing. It's you know, when I suggested that people go and buy Netherweave bags in the Pandas Are Coming video, I showed me selling Netherweave bags for 3 times the cost of what they can get from a vendor. Instantly I got so many emails of people saying, dude, this is ridiculous. I'm making these bags for 2 gold, selling them for 30 gold by the masses, selling them so quickly, and made so much gold straight off it. It's amazing how things virally spread like that. I really enjoyed that. So DayZ is up to 900,000 players, so it's definitely going to get its own game. I think there's a World Z or something like that coming, which is sort of similar, but it's not made by Rocket, who's the Swedish developer who created DayZ. They're working on their own standalone game. Of course they are. It's fucking, there's money to be made there on a game that isn't just a mod and twisting the original game. Very cool. Okay, let's jump on to the big WoW news before I do the questions that have been sent in the questions in the chat. I am doing a smaller show. Do I say that every day? I'm going to do a smaller show, but literally I'm going to be raiding tonight from... I'm going to start raiding in 50 minutes, and I will not stop raiding until 3 o'clock in the AM. It's going to be a hell of a night. All 25-man raiding all night on the Mr. Pandaria beta service. Another thing that's getting me is people comparing... Oh, man, a lot of stuff doesn't annoy me, but people are arguing openly in a lot of my videos. There is no daily comment today. I couldn't find one genuine troll post. There are a lot of you who are out there trying to create troll posts, but they're really obvious. Like, one of them was about sparking religion and all this kind of stuff. It was crazy. It was so obvious to try and get on the daily comment. I couldn't find a genuine one, so there is no daily comment. But while I was flicking through the comments on Mr. Pandaria videos, it became very, very apparent people are comparing where they are in Dragon Soul to what the class is like in Mr. Pandaria, although they've never played Mr. Pandaria. And then arguing back at some of the stuff I've said. It's like, no, you're wrong, Preacher, because I'm in Dragon Soul Heroic and I'm caning the meters, or I'm doing this and that. Oh, dudes, get over it. Come on, really. The classes have changed. It's all out the window. Dragon Soul Heroic is nothing. It doesn't matter anymore. It's all changed, all over. So, yeah, this is the news that came out literally 20 minutes after the Daily Preach yesterday. They are gating the raid instances. Woo! Fuck yeah! Fuck yes! Awesome! This started by Law from Tankspot. He was the first one to suggest this. I've reiterated this in so many videos. Blizzard have listened. They're going to do this. Now, there is even some rage in the Method forums. The guys are like really pissed off. Like, it's like 50-50. Some guys are really pissed. Me? Fucking love it. This is the first expansion ever I won't have to kill myself just leveling. Oh, yes! And it also means I can have free time. I was seriously considering having to leave Method. I was, in the back of my mind. Purely because this is my job. And from a business point of view, I need the time in order to get the stuff out for you guys. If I had to really no-life for like 2 or 3 months, I wouldn't have any money. I literally wouldn't have any money. I wouldn't be able to produce content. I wouldn't be able to do any live streams. I wouldn't be able to do any of that kind of stuff. I just wouldn't be able to do it because Heroic Progress needs to be silent, so I can't live stream it. I couldn't fraps and release any videos of it because it needs to be kept secret. All this kind of stuff. I was really in a sort of, I'm going to have to leave. I just cannot do it. But, oh, they said, oh, we're gating the raid instances. Oh! It's going to be at least a week after release when they're going to open the first raid. Oh, man. Woo! This is the first expansion ever. The first one when I will be able to just enjoy the experience. I won't have to be dribbling on my keyboard for 24 hours straight going, I've got to do one more heroic. I really need that drop. None of that needs to take place. Oh. Weight, shoulders, on the floor, fucking awesome. And not only that, they're actually gating the next 2 tiers of rating. I think it's... I'm going to be out on a limb and say the Heart of Fear or the Moggersham Vaults. One of those 2 is actually a higher tier of rating. It's like tier 2, essentially. So tier 1 is, say, Heart of Fear. I'm guessing here. I could have it backwards. And tier 2 is Moggersham Vaults. And they're not going to open the Moggersham Vaults for at least a few weeks after Heart of Fear. And they've also said they're going to release the next content patch pretty quickly. Because, as we've openly said, the current Mist of Pandaria beta has nothing to do with this war that we've been promised. Nothing at all. Not even a sniff of it. There's not a fart in the wind about this war. So they've said they're going to release the next content patch pretty fucking quickly. Including new raids. All good. I am so thumbs up to this. I really am. Because I was looking at the prospect of having to raid hardcore consistently about 14 or 15 heroic bosses in a row, like non-stop. That's could put speed to 3 to 4 months of hardcore dedicated raiding. If we compare it to tier 11 with Blackwing Descent and the Twilight Citadel, I want to say, I think that was what it was called. That was seriously hardcore. We come up against some bugged bosses. We come up against all sorts of crazy shit. This is fantastic news. So I'm going to be able to just enjoy the leveling. Oh, yes! Fucking yes, Blizz! That is awesome news for me. And for the guys who really disliked it in the guild, I see your point. You love that rush. I've done that rush so many times now. I'm just like, I am happy to just enjoy the experience of leveling, get all my questing out of the way, get some videos out for you guys, level a couple of classes, get all my gear nice and ready, and then on Wednesday, reset, then we'll go raid. More than happy to do that. More than happy to do that. It's fucking awesome. Okay, let's take a question. That was the main Blizzard news. This question came in on the YouTube's personal messages. I am checking those. I went through so many comments trying to find a daily comment. My God, I'm 8 pages in. I'm even in yesterday's comments. Okay, this came in from, I'm not going to say your name because you wanted to be kept anonymous, so full respect to that. About a year ago, I was given the Guildmaster rank in my guild by the old GM. She had to leave to do some personal things since that doing her makeup. Oh, you know I love you girls. Since that point, however, I have made the guild into a very big social guild. We do raid, but nothing like Method. We do all BC to ICC and some Kata just for fun. But I get an email from the old GM saying she's coming back. This does not... Okay, sorry, you had no grammar. Saying she's coming back. This does make me happy, don't get me wrong, but as bad as it sounds, I don't want to give the guild back. Is this wrong of me? Is it wrong of her if she asks? Which she has not done yet, but please help me if you can, because I don't want the guild to go back to the way it was. Okay, so... she hasn't asked yet. I highly doubt she expects that. From even any normal common sense point of view. Anybody who is good enough to say, look, I'm leaving the game and pass the guild on to somebody else, that's fine. That sounds like someone with a level head, hopefully. And does not expect to come back in a year's time and take over the guild. However, it has been known to happen. I have seen it happen. I have seen people just walk back into the guild. Usually they're promoted to sort of officer level really quickly. Almost on the day of invite, we'll promote you to officer because you were the old GM and we're all kind of, and you know how to run a guild and all that kind of stuff. Hey, you're my buddy. And they go straight to like an officer rank so they can have private talks and stuff. And then sooner or later they kind of say, you know what, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, and they start sticking their fingers everywhere. They start weaving little webs of vines saying, when I ran the guild, we didn't do it this way. Maybe you should think about doing that. That's when it gets dangerous. If you want my advice, if you're happy with how the guild is, sounds like the guild's thriving, sounds like it's flourishing, sounds really good. Don't make her an officer or anything like that. Invite her back as a casual member. Get back into the swing of things and be a more mature guy about it. It's been a year. You've done a lot in that year. You've managed a whole guild. The guild's still up and running. You're doing some raids. Come back and be very mature. Say, hey, I'm really glad you're back. Get back into the swing of the things of the game and let me know, you know, if you want to do some stuff together, that's fine. And then at some point, this is the ultimate win, is halfway through a conversation just to say, 1 sec, I've got some guild stuff to do. Oh, even if you haven't. Oh, it's so worth the lie. Hey, I've got some shit to deal with because I'm the boss. That's right, I'm the fucking boss. I'm the one with the key to the executive bathroom. Not you anymore. I'm going to go over there and do my guild stuff. You understand what I'm talking about? That's what you want to do. It can happen, people come back, but remember, you're the chief. She's not the chief. She ain't the chief. You're the chief. You're the boss. You're the big boss man. She's nothing. She's been gone for a year. Who cares? Come back as a casual member. Sure, we welcome you back. You were a good friend. And if she ever brings it up, it's like, no. Just pass it off like that. Can I have the guild back? No. Absolutely fucking not. How stupid of you to ask. And if you ask again, I will kill you. Fuck her. She's been gone for a year. She's a good friend. Fine, she'll understand. Say, no, the guild's really happy. There's no reason. I'm happy being guild master. Leave it well enough alone. Awesome. Let's take some questions from the audience. Which email should you send questions to? Okay, preachgaming@gmail.com. Even send one to the personal messages on YouTube. Or leave a comment on yesterday's Daily Preach or today's Daily Preach, depending on your perspective. If you watch this video on YouTube, leave it in there. And I will have a read of them. I tend to have a read around 4:30, 4:15. That's usually when I finished editing. And I will have a read then. Also send your brofist there. You can see I'm getting sort of 3 or 4 brofists a day now, including Titty Sprinkles. If you want to see your picture behind me, and then ultimately on the wall, send them to preachgaming@gmail.com. But please label them brofist. It makes my life much, much easier. Do you think with the Siege of Garrosh and both factions we'll be able to communicate with each other? Yeah! This is weird, isn't it? This is weird. I've seen a few forum posts pop up. Nothing's come from Blizzard. It's all speculation. It's all a little bit Reddit, isn't it? There's a couple of predictions I have for Mists of Pandaria. I predict pretty much halfway through the expansion we will change to 15-man raiding. 25-man raiding will disappear. That's my prediction. Will the opposing sides be able to speak to each other? From the latest numbers that I saw probably 6 months ago, there is a massively dwindling number of alliance across all the servers in general. I think it's something about 80-20 is now Horde, 20% is now Alliance. Alliance people have got to be feeling a little bit left out. Now, I'm sure Blizzard wants to maintain a separation because they don't just want a game of Horde. It could be World of Hordecraft. They don't want that. They want an Alliance thing. I would be surprised if we don't see some sort of favoritism towards the Alliance storylines, the Alliance in general in various different ways. Nothing class-based, nothing mechanics-based, nothing like that. But definitely a sway towards it being sort of better to be an Alliance person. I don't think we're going to be able to speak to each other. They've been pretty adamant against that for a very long time. But they've also been pretty adamant about a lot of things that they've changed their minds on. They could do it. I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen. I love the idea of not being able to communicate in World of Warcraft. In other games which are much more vicious, in other very vicious FPS MMOs and stuff like that, it's actually really cool to be able to speak to the Alliance because you get into some real furious arguments with the enemy, and that's always cool, especially when it's a game when I can take their stuff or I can find them and kill them and do all that kind of stuff. World of Warcraft's a little bit pansy on that side. The PvP is not especially brutal in any way, especially the world PvP. Will there be a place? I did hope at one point, there's a fly in here, that must be the dogs. Ugh, the rain. I did hope at one point there would be a combined raid of Horde and Alliance doing something, and that's what the Siege of Garrosh that you're speaking about. The problem with that is, how do you balance it for every server? There's already a really reduced amount of Alliance per server anyway, in general. There are some servers that are obviously Alliance heavy, but in general they're Horde heavy. So let's say Method. We're on a server that's heavily populated by Horde guilds. We came there because there was a solid amount of Horde raiding guilds. Should we need materials or anything like that, we should have good access to it. There's regular raids going on in high population. There isn't a great deal of Alliance. So let's say the Siege of Garrosh is a Horde Alliance combo. How do we do that? Are we going to see... This brings up possibilities, and I don't think Blizzard would mind this either. Of, let's say, who's really good at the moment? Envy and Apex. Good EU servers, Paragon, of course. Of Paragon and Method speaking to each other and say, one of the guilds needs to go Alliance, one of us needs to go Horde in order to stay competitive. I don't want that. Oh my god, that would be awful, wouldn't it? But if they put us in a situation where you need Horde and Alliance together in order to do this raid at its maximum difficulty. Go away, Fly. Then it's a possibility because guilds will push it to the edge. We've seen guilds realm transfer regularly, especially during this tier, especially during Cataclysm's expansion. We saw guilds fully realm transfer repeatedly in order to get the raid advantage. That has happened. We've seen it happen, so guilds are prepared to do that. I don't want that to happen. I really don't. So I am against it in World of Warcraft. Specifically in World of Warcraft. I'm very against that in World of Warcraft. I think we've gone too far. I think something around about the Burning Crusade, when there was a nice mix of Alliance Horde, maybe even more in vanilla time, it would have been fully possible where you had Paladins. Remember, Paladins were Alliance only back in vanilla and very powerful, and Shamans were Horde only. That could have been cool because there was favoritism to either side. That people could make a choice. I think that would be very cool. Next couple of questions. Yeah, Garrosh should be a boss fight. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a boss fight. Do we care who's the War Chief now? I would just like to see Thrall make a return. Thrall's such a gangster. He really is. Thrall is such a gangster. I want to see Thrall come and just smash Garrosh in the face with a hammer. I just want him to go boom. Couple of questions before I go, and I've got a raid in 30 minutes. I'm not live streaming the normal raid, by the way. I know yesterday I said I was. I'm not going to, purely because I want to fraps them. And I want that to be good, clean, high quality fraps. So I'm going to record them and do a proper video of the normal modes, because I think that long term is a better decision than doing a long live stream tonight. Tomorrow's video might be delayed unless I get these normal raids out, because I won't be going to bed till around 4 AM. And I will be supported by Ching. So tomorrow might be a bit of a slacky day because I'm going to be raiding for a long time. I've already been working since 7 AM today, and I'm going to be up till 4 AM playing. Any other questions? Do you think there will be a new War Chief before the ending of Pandaria? Will a spot be open? I think they will put somebody in the War Chief position, even temporarily, like a stand-in. I think that's fine. Who is better looking out of the top two Brofists? I don't comment. Plus, I'm not up there, so clearly it would be unfair. Do you think that Vigilance will be useful for Fury Warriors and Mop to help them stay enraged? In current raids, no. It's an idea that I spoke about with another DPS warrior in Method. Is could we do that? The danger is you can't really pick a tank because you have to use a defensive cooldown, so that wouldn't really work. It's all about picking the right person at the right time. It's a little bit situational, but it's possible. Maybe, we don't know. Can I create a guild, preach gaming on the US realm, seeing it as a trademark? Yeah, of course you can. Do whatever you want. Alright, ballers, it looks like there's no big questions tonight, I don't think. So I'm going to get ready for my raiding. I'm going to be raiding for the next 7 hours. Thank you for tuning in today. Even these short shows last half an hour. That's the way it goes. Yeah, so leave any questions for me or email me or send me your brofist for tomorrow's show. Hopefully I will be doing a tomorrow show. I might be looking a little bit rough, but that's okay. I don't mind what I look like on the internet. You have a great day, guys, and you take it easy.